In this episode, we're going to actually use data again to try to find out what makes them super agents. And I basically have two hypotheses. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Data Stories. My name is Mike Cho. In the previous episode, we used data to find out that there's actually this group of elite property agents whom we call super agents, and they just do a lot more transactions than their peers. In this episode, we're going to actually use data again to try to find out what makes them super agents, right? What gives them the superpowers. And I basically have two hypotheses. Number one is that perhaps these super agents are just veteran in this trade. They've been an agent for years, and that's why they are more experienced, they get more referrals and better reputation, and that's why they are super agents. Hypothesis number two, perhaps some of these super agents, they take on this strategy of being really focused in a specific region. So say Tampines, right? So instead of running the whole island doing home viewings, they just focus on say Tampines, and that efficiency allowed them to be hyper productive and therefore transact a lot more than their peers. So what does the data say? Let's take a look. So number one, experience, does it count? It does, kind of, sort of. If you look at the chart here, the average number of transactions in a year based on how long has the agent been in the industry. So on the extreme left, you see agents with less than 1 year of experience, and to the extreme right, agents with at least 8 years of experience. So you see this kind of gradual increase in number of deals per year as you move to the right. And from about, say, 3 transactions to about 4 transactions in a year, so I would say that looks to be a slight increase, but when it really comes down to it, it doesn't look like experience matter all that much. How about hypothesis number two? Does the general strategy of focusing just on a small neighborhood or region, is that an indication that they will become top agents? So here's the data. These are the top 5% agents, basically about 1,500 of them. We've plotted them on what we call a 4 HDB town concentration index. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but it's actually pretty simple to understand. So imagine there's this super agent who did say 100 transactions in a year, and let's say all 100 transactions are just conducted in 4 HDB towns, right? Which means that he has a 100% concentration ratio in just these 4 towns. In another case, what if out of the 100 transactions, only half of them is done in the 4 HDB town, the rest are in the other HDB town, which means his 4 HDB town concentration would have dropped to 50%. So really, the higher the ratio, the more it will indicate that this agent actually really focused just on 4 HDB towns. So with that out of the way, let's look at the actual number. If you look at the extreme right column, there are about, say, 700 agents who have at least 3/4 of their transactions done within just 4 towns. And if you look at this column, about 300 of them did about between a quarter to half of the transaction within these 4 HDB towns, which means they actually have more deals in a lot more towns than just these 4 HDB towns. What if we zoom in further to just look at the top super agents, say the top 1%? Obviously, the absolute number of agents reduced, but you can see within this elite group of agents, they are actually much more likely to pursue a diversified approach, right? You have more agents on this side of the chart where they have a bigger proportion of their transactions being spread out to other towns, more than 4 towns, and therefore having a lower concentration ratio. So my hypothesis was actually wrong, right? In fact, as the data shows, the top agents, they actually tend to really spread out their bets and do deals across Singapore. Now, just one more fun data point. You know how for Chinese especially, right? The number 8, right? Ba, or in Cantonese, fat, right? It's a really auspicious number. And somehow the number 4 is a really bad one, right? Say, right? Say. What if we looked, say, the mobile number of these 30,000 agents? Perhaps that could be an indication of them being a top agent. It's a silly thing to look at, but since we have the numbers, let's actually look at them. Say this agent has a mobile number of, say, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? In this case, he doesn't have any number 8 in his number, but he has one number 4. Or another agent with a mobile number of 9, 8, 8, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, right? In this case, this guy has 3 number 8 and 1 number 4 in his mobile number. So what we did was, we actually ran through all the mobile numbers of all 30,000 agents in Singapore and look at the distribution. So you can see here, basically more than 60% of these agents don't even have a single number 4 in their numbers. Whereas you can see a clear tendency to have more number 8 in their mobile number. In fact, a couple of these agents have actually 6 number 8 in their phone number. They probably have to pay up a fair bit for those mobile numbers. Clearly, some agents do have a strong preference for number 8 and a strong dislike for number 4. But do their mobile numbers actually indicate or is correlated to them being a super agent? The answer is unfortunately no. So here we've broken things up into the top 5% agents, the top 5th to 10th%, and then the top 10 to 15% agents. And you can see here, there's really not much difference between these 3 groups in terms of them having less number 4 or more number 8 in their mobile numbers. So there you have it. Obviously, the phone number thing is just a gimmick, but I thought initially my earlier 2 hypotheses, right? Experience and focus on geography, a particular geography or a region, actually helps agent becoming a super agent. But turns out, experience doesn't really count, and in fact, the top agent don't focus, they actually spread out, right, throughout the whole island. So it seems that the data points we have today is still not sufficient to really give us a clear understanding of what makes a super agent, or perhaps it's just something so qualitative that you can't use data alone to explain why would someone become a top agent. Or if you have some idea of data point that we've missed out, definitely leave a comment, let us know, we'll take a look. And again, my name is Mike Cho from Data Stories. If you like more content like this, definitely subscribe to us, and I'll see you in the next one.